Welcome to this beginner flow practice. My name is Brittany and I'll be guiding us through this class. If you do have blocks with you at home, you can grab your block, set them by your mat. If you don't have blocks, you can find some household items to fit in their place, such as perhaps a thick book, a rolled up blanket. If you don't have any props though, no problem, you can still do the class without. We'll get started laying down on our backs, taking a corpse pose. So you can lay down on your mat. So begin to extend your arms and legs long and wide. They might even come off of your mat here. And then you can give yourself just a few moments to wiggle around, adjust this posture if needed. If you're feeling some tension in your low back, you might like to slide a bolster, a pillow underneath your knees. Or you might just bend your legs, planting the soles of your feet to the ground. Your feet can come mat width apart and your knees can touch. This helps to take some of the pressure out of your back. And then once you've found that sweet spot on your mat, try to find some stillness where you are. Just beginning to notice sensations throughout your body here. Bringing your attention towards the crown of your head. Noticing its weight, its temperature. And begin to slowly drift your attention down your body, your arms, your legs, all the way to the tips of your toes. Noticing if there's any areas that are calling out to you here. Spots that might feel a little bit tight and tense. And if that's the case for you, imagine that you're trying to send your breath to those areas, just helping to find some release, some space. And start to notice the thoughts that are drifting through your mind here. Acknowledging if they're distracting you from your practice, taking you away from your mat. And then just imagine that you're setting these thoughts, these distractions outside of the room. And allow your full attention to come in the four corners of your yoga mat. Now focusing on your breath here. Once you're starting to feel a bit more grounded, a bit more connected to your mat, you can start to actively deepen your breath. Inhaling through your nose nice and big. And exhale out of your nose to release. Inhale, fill up your belly. Feel it puff up like a balloon. Exhale, hug your navel to your spine, expelling all the stale air. Inhale, expand your ribs wide in every direction. And exhale, contract your ribs in. Inhale, fill up your chest. Exhale, gently release this breath. Knitting all three motions together. Inhale to your belly, your ribs, your chest. Exhale out of your chest, ribs, and belly. Continuing to breathe like that. Moving through your three-part breath, your Durga breath. Try to give yourself the challenge here to maintain this slow, rhythmic cycle of breath as we start to flow through the practice. With your inhale, you need to reach your arms above your head, extend your legs long down your mat, coming to a full body stretch. Trying to reach your fingertips far away from your toes. And with your exhale, curl your knees into your chest and wrap your arms around your legs like you're giving yourself a hug. You can find a sway moving side to side, massaging the muscles along your spine. And slowing this movement down, you can bring your hands to the back side of your knees. And if it feels okay for your spine, for your back, start to rock and roll. Up and down, length of your spine, the length of your mat. Gaining momentum. When you're at the top, you can cross your ankles, plant your hands, and shift forward to a tabletop. If that doesn't feel good for your back, then just roll to one side of your body, coming to a fetal position. And then press yourself up. From here, make your way to a tabletop. So for tabletop, you'll have your shoulders stacked right over your wrists, hips will come over your knees, and you have a neutral spine here. So you can draw your belly button in towards your spine and reach the crown of your head away from your hips. With an inhale, you need to drop your belly low towards your mat as we tilt your tailbone and chest up to the ceiling. And then exhale, round your spine, press your hands into your mat, gaze to your belly button. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze for cow pose. Exhale, coil in, tuck your chin to your chest for cat. Just continue to flow here as moving fast or as slow as you'd like. You might hold one pose a little bit longer if that stretch feels really nice in your shoulders, your spine, or your hips. And your eyes can stay open, or you can close your eyes, really tapping into the sensations of this flow. We'll move through one more cycle of breath. Return to your tabletop, your neutral spine. Start to bring your knees about mat width apart, big toes will touch. Sink your hips down towards your heels, arms will reach forward, forehead drops to your mat, child's pose. Start to notice how your body is feeling as we're slowly warming up. Know that any time throughout the practice, if you need to take a pause, take a little rest, this is a great pose to come to. Connecting with your breath if you've lost it. With your inhale, rise back up to your tabletop. Spread your fingers wide, curl all 10 toes into the floor. Then begin to press your hips up and back behind you, rising to your downward facing dog. We'll find some movement here in your legs. You can start to bend one knee, followed by the other, pedaling your legs out. And feel free to add in any other movements you'd like here to wake up your body. So that might be a gentle sway in your hips, or a shake in your head. You could lift both heels high with an inhale, and then dropping low to your mat with an exhale. When you're ready, slowing your movements down, settling into your down dog. Try to press firmly through your fingertips and the knuckles of your hands, and that triangle space between your pointer finger and thumb. See if you can relax your shoulders down, your back away from your ears. You might bend your knees slightly here to start, helping to lift your hips up and back. Inhale, breathe in through your nose, nice and big. Then exhale, sigh out of your mouth. Inhale, gaze to your fingers, come up high to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, then tiptoe towards the front of your mat for a forward fold. Feet are hip width apart, toes facing slightly in, heels slightly out. Inhale to a halfway lift. Your hands might come to your shins or they might float. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. You have a slight bend in your knees here. Exhale, release. Just one last time. Inhale, halfway lift. Reach your crown away from your hips. Exhale, fold in. Take a ragdoll. So catch hold of opposite elbows with your hands. Bend your knees as much as you need so your chest can rest near or against your thighs. Let your head hang heavy. Your legs will stay strong and still, but you might invite some softening, some flow in your upper body. If it feels good, you can sway left and right. And check in with how your neck and shoulders are feeling today. And if they're a little bit tight, you might give your head a shake no, or shake yes, finding some release. You can slow your movements down, release your elbows, ground down through your both feet, and slowly roll up to stand with one vertebrae at a time. Your head will be the last thing to lift. Bring your hands by your hips, palms will be facing forward for Mountain Pose, Tadasana. Inhale, lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Exhale, release your shoulders down your back. 2 more times. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, sweep your arms up high to the ceiling, bring your palms to touch. Exhale, lower your hands to your heart center, equal standing pose. We'll start to move a little bit faster here. Inhale, lift your arms up high. Exhale, hinge in your hips, bend at your knees slightly and dive forward to your fold. Halfway lift, inhale, draw your shoulder blades together. Exhale, release. Root down, rise up tall, arms lift to the ceiling. Exhale, palms touch and lower to your heart, equal standing pose, Samasthiti. Inhale, sweep your arms high. Exhale, dive forward, heart leading the way. Inhale, halfway lift, hug your belly button up to your spine. Exhale, release. 1 more time like that. Inhale, rise up, palms touch. Exhale, lower your hands to your heart, Samasthiti. Inhale, circle your arms to the ceiling. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. We're going to add on. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, rise up tall. Bring your biceps by your ears for extended mountain. Exhale, hinge and fold forward. Breathe into your flat back. Breathe out, plant your hands, step your feet to plank. Drop your knees to your mat and then lower to your belly. Untuck your toes, keep your hands under your shoulders. Inhale, lifting just your chest for a baby cobra. Exhale, release your forehead down. Inhale, rise up to a tabletop. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips. Downward facing dog, take 5 cycles of breath. Took us through our first variation of a vinyasa, of a flow. And I'll take us through 2 more different variations. Inhale, gaze forward, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees and step to the front of your mat. Inhale for a halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold in. Ground down, rise up tall, extended mountain. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Exhale, plant your hands, step your feet to plank, option to drop your knees or keep your legs floating as you lower to your belly. Inhale for a baby or a full cobra, extending your arms. Exhale, transition back to your down dog. 3 breaths here. Inhale, gaze forward, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop forward to a fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Breathe out, release. Inhale, rise up, reach for the ceiling. Exhale, dive forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plant your hands. You can step or hop to a plank, lowering halfway or all the way down. Inhale, lift your chest. Option to lift your hips and your knees for an up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. In this practice, we'll have a few more options to take a vinyasa. So you can take any of those 3 variations that we move through. Or if you just like to skip the vinyasa, you can press straight back to your down dog. Inhale, lift your right heel up high to the ceiling for a 3-legged dog. Exhale, curl your knee to your nose, step your right foot between your hands. You might need to give it a little help if it doesn't make it all the way there. And then drop your left knee down to the ground. Start to walk your hands up your right thigh, stacking your shoulders over your hips for a low lunge pose. Bringing your gaze, your drishti to one spot in front of you. With an inhale, sit up nice and tall, lifting the crown of your head. And with your exhale, option to sink a little bit deeper here into your hips. Feeling some sensations in the front of your left thigh, your hip flexor. You can keep your hands where they are, or if you'd like, you can bring your biceps up by your ears. You can bend at your elbows, coming to a cactus shape. Or maybe your hands are at your heart center. Choosing whichever variation feels best for you today. Take one more sip of breath in. Exhale, plant your hands to your mat. Start to shift your hips back, lengthening your right leg, and flexing your toes to the ceiling for a half split pose. If you have blocks with you, you can bring those underneath your hands. And inhale, lift your chest here as if you're in a halfway lift. Exhale, drop your chest towards your thighs. 2 more pulses like that. Inhale, lift your chest, reach to the crown of your head. Exhale to fold low. One more time. Inhale, rise and lengthen. And exhale, melt your chest to your thigh. Let your head hang heavy and pause here. Notice how this feels for your right hamstring. Focusing on your breath. If you're using blocks, you can set those aside. Walk your hands forward, lunge into your right knee. Plant your left hand to a block or to your mat, and begin to lift your right fingertips up high to the ceiling, twisting towards your front thigh for a low lunge twist. You can stay where you are with your left knee on the ground, or if you'd like to find some fire here in your legs, and you can tuck your left toes and lift your left knee. With every inhale, try to lengthen out to the crown of your head. With every exhale, engage the muscles in your belly. Try to deepen this twist. One more breath in, gaze up to your fingertips. Exhale, plant your right hand, step your right foot to plank. Take your flow or press straight back to down dog. If you're flowing, exhale, lower your chest. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, sweep your left heel up high to the ceiling, three-legged dog. Exhale, round your knee to your nose, step your foot between your hands, drop your right knee. Walk your hands up your left thigh, rising to your low lunge. Inhale, stand up tall. Exhale, sink into your foundation, feeling the stretch now in the front of your right thigh. If you're feeling steady where you are, you might challenge your balance by choosing a different expression with your arms. You can keep your gaze right in front of you with a neutral spine, or you need to lift your gaze up towards the ceiling, cultivating a back bend. One more breath in. Exhale to plant your hands, shift your hips back, lengthening your left leg, flexing your toes to the ceiling. Hands come to your mat or hands come to your blocks. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, drop your chest low. 2 more cycles. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release. Last one, inhale to lift. Exhale to fold low and pause here. Notice how the left hamstring feels compared to your right. Perhaps the stretch is getting a little bit tighter on this side, or maybe you have more space. With your next inhale, walk your hands forward, lunge into your left knee. Plant your right hand to a block or to your mat. Lift your left fingertips up high, low lunge twist. Staying as you are, or tuck your right toes, lift your right knee. Using every inhale to find length. Using every exhale to twist deeper. 2 more cycles of breath. Inhale, gaze to your fingertips. Exhale, plant your hands, step your foot to plank, option to flow. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift your chest, shine your heart forward. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, gaze forward, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, step or hop to the front of your mat, forward folds. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, release. Root down, rise up tall as you inhale. Exhale, palms touch and lower to your heart for your equal standing pose. Begin to interlace your fingers here, but keep your pointer fingers reaching for the ceiling, coming to a steeple mudra. Ground down through your feet. Inhale, lift your arms up high. Take a moment here to notice how this feels in your shoulders. And if you're feeling some pinching, reach hold of opposite elbows instead. One more inhale, stand up tall. And then with your exhale, begin to side bend towards the right. Inhale to lengthen. Same side, exhale, bend. One more pulse, inhale to center. Exhale, lean and hold for a Crescent Moon pose. Notice how this feels for your low back. And if you're noticing some tension here, try to draw your tailbone down towards your heels. Inhale, rise up through center. Exhale, lower your hands back to your heart center. We'll interlace your fingers in the opposite direction this time, stimulating our brain as well. When you're ready, inhale, rise up, catching hold of your hands or maybe your elbows. Exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale to center, same side, exhale, lean. One more time, inhale, rise.
Exhale, lean and hold, Crescent Moon. Your gaze can stay where it naturally falls, or you can rotate your gaze to your top elbow. Noticing the stretch in the right side of your body. Inhale, rise up to center. Exhale, release your grip. Circle your hands behind your back. And begin to place your hands at your low back near your sacrum. Try to draw your elbows close towards one another. Press your hips forward. Lift your chest and then lift your gaze for a standing supported back bend. 3 big breaths here. Try to fill up your chest with every inhale. 1 more breath in. And as you breathe out, begin to hinge, fold forward, and slide your hands down your thighs. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, keep your right foot where it is, and step your left foot far back. Coming to a lunge stance. Try to draw your inner thighs close towards one another. And then begin to lift your chest, lift your arms for a high lunge, crescent lunge. Notice how your foundation feels here. And if you're a little wobbly, you might like to widen your stance. See if you can lift your back heel high up to the ceiling. Back leg is straight and strong, and you're lunging into your front knee. Bring your gaze to one spot, helping to find balance here. Continue to focus on your breath. 1 more inhale. And with your exhale, drop your back heel to 90 degrees. Open your arms to the horizon. Come into your warrior 2 stance. Try to root down to the pinky edge of your back foot. Lunge into your front knee and gaze over your front fingertips. Feel the strength here of your strong warrior pose. And start to flip your front palm up to the ceiling. And with an inhale, reverse your warrior. Your right arm will lift up high. Left arm can be draped down your left thigh, or you can bring your hand to your low back for a bind. Take big, expansive breaths here, creating opening in the right side of your body. 1 more sip of breath in. And with your exhale, cartwheel your hands to your mat, square your hips, step your left foot forward into a fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, keep your left foot where it is, step your right foot far back. Root down to your feet, and begin to rise up with your upper body to your high lunge, your crescent lunge. Find your strong stance. Bring your gaze, your drishti to one spot. We'll hold here for 3 more cycles of breath. See if you can scissor hug your legs together by drawing your left hip back, right hip come forward. This will help to square your hips. 1 more big breath in. Exhale, drop your back heel to 90 degrees, arms open wide to the horizons, warrior 2. See if you can reach your arms far apart from one another here, taking up as much space as you can on your mat. If your shoulders are feeling a little bit tight, then with your inhale, roll your shoulders up towards your ears, and exhale, relax your shoulders down your back. Flip your front palm to the ceiling. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Left arm will lift, right arm drapes back behind you. Notice if you rose out of your lunge, and if so, try to sink low once again, keeping that heat. Fill up with your inhale. Exhale, circle your hands forward, square your hips, step your right foot to the front into a fold. allowing your palms to touch. Exhale, lower your hands to your heart, Samsitihi. Start to gaze to one spot in front of you. Shift your weight into your right foot and come up high onto your left toes. Spin your left knee towards the side wall, to the left, and then draw your left foot in towards your standing right foot, coming to our tree pose. You can stay here with your left toes on your mat in a little kickstand. You could bring your foot below your knee. Or with maybe using the help of your hand, you can lift your foot to above your knee. Just making sure that you're not pressing your foot into your knee joint. When you're feeling balanced, option to grow your branches, coming to any expression of tree that's calling out to you. You might be a cactus today with a bend in your elbows. And if you are feeling super solid where you are, you can challenge yourself by bringing your gaze to maybe the ceiling, or even closing your eyes here. 2 more cycles of breath. Continue to root down to the 4 corners of your right foot, grounding you here. And bring your hands back to heart center. Draw your left knee forward, plant your foot to your mat. You can give your little legs a shake here, and then we'll set up for the opposite side. Inhale, lift your arms up high. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Shift your weight over into your left foot, come up high into your right toes, then pivot your right knee to the right side. Draw your right heel in towards your left ankle, setting up for your tree pose. Staying here in your kickstand, or lifting your foot so it's either below or above your left knee. Try to press your foot into your leg. Leg presses into your foot, helping to find some balance here. And as well, keep your gaze to one spot. Focus on your breath. When you're ready, you can grow your branches here. Maybe taking on a new expression. And if at any point you fall out of this pose, no problem, we all do it, just come right back in. You can challenge yourself if you'd like, maybe closing your eyes. 2 more breaths, breathing through the wobble in your leg. Inhale, bring your hands to your heart, draw your knee forward. Exhale, plant your foot down. You can give your legs a little shake. And inhale, reach up high to the ceiling, maybe gaze to your fingertips. Exhale, swan dive forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Breathe out, plant your hands, keep your right foot where it is, step your left foot far back. This time, drop your left heel to 90 degrees right away, and then circle your arms open to the horizon so you'll land in your warrior 2 stance. Gazing forward, with your inhale, start to reach forward, and then exhale, drop right forearm to right thigh, left arm will lift to the ceiling, or bring your bicep by your ear for extended side angle pose, Parsvakonasana. We're going to stay here for about 5 cycles of breath. Feel free to stay where you are in this nice long line of energy. You might bring your right hand towards a block or down towards your mat. You can bring your left hand to your low back for a half bind, or you can interlace your hands around your front thigh for a full bind. Just notice how your breath is flowing as you transition through these poses, these variations. And if your breath is really shaky where you are, you might want to ease off slightly. If you're in a bind, start to lift your left arm high up to the ceiling. Ground down through your feet, rise up through your warrior 2. Flip your front palm, reverse your warrior. Take a big breath in. Exhale, warrior two. Start to straighten your front leg. Pivot your right toes towards the side so your feet are parallel. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, begin to lift your chest, lift your gaze. Exhale, hinge at your hips and fold forward. Drop your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, drop the crown of your head low, and we'll pause here. You might stay where you are with your hands under your shoulders, or you can play with the placement of your hands. They could reach for your toes, for your ankles. You might walk your hands back behind you between your thighs. You can come into your ragdoll shape, hands to elbows. And if you are working on a headstand, this is a great pose to transition into. Just notice where the weight is in your feet. You can draw your weight back into your heels. And draw your weight forward into your toes, noticing how this changes the stretch. And after a few rocks forward and back, pause with the weight forward into the balls of your feet, into your toes, helping to stack your hips right over your ankles. Start to bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, start to walk your hands to the front edge of your mat. Square your hips and feet forward as you do so. And then step your left foot forward into a fold. Inhale, halfway lift, reach your crown out in front of you. Exhale, plant your hands, plant through your left foot, step your right foot far back. Drop your right heel to 90 degrees. Circle your arms to the horizon, warrior two. Gazing beyond your left fingertips, with your inhale, begin to lean forward. Exhale, drop your forearm to thigh, lift your right arm up high, extend in side angle. Pausing here for 5 cycles of breath, taking this time to play with this pose. You can come into a half bind, a full bind. Maybe dropping your left hand down to a block or to your mat. Notice it feels like your chest is collapsing forward. And imagine there's a wall right behind you here. You're trying to lean your chest onto that wall. Your gaze can rotate up high to the ceiling if that feels okay for your neck. If you're in a bind, begin to release your arm high to the ceiling. Grounding through both your feet, rise up through center through warrior two. Flip your front palm and reverse your warrior. Take a big breath in. Exhale, return to warrior two. Start to straighten your front leg, pivot your left foot forward, feet are parallel. Bring your hands behind your back and we'll come into a bind. You can interlace your fingers, you can catch hold of your elbows, or if you have a strap, a towel with you at home, you can reach to 2 ends of that with both your hands. From here, with your inhale, begin to lean your chest back, your bind will reach for the ground. And then exhale, hinge and fold forward, keeping your bind. You might invite a slight bend in both of your knees. Notice how the spine feels in your back and your shoulders today. If your bind feels good, then I invite you to stay. If you're experiencing any sensations of pain or discomfort, then you might prefer to release your bind and drop your hands to your mat. With every inhale here, see if you can sit a little bit longer with your chest. With every exhale, try to drop the crown of your head slightly closer to the ground. If you're in your bind, inhale to a halfway lift, release your grip. Exhale, plant your hands underneath your shoulders. Root down with your right hand. With an inhale, lift your left fingertips up high to the ceiling for a twist. Exhale, plant your hands and switch sides. Inhale, right fingertips will lift. Exhale to fold. 2 more times on each side. Inhale, twisting on the left. Exhale through center. Inhale, twisting on the right. Exhale to fold. 1 more cycle here, just flowing with your breath. Inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale, walk your hands forward, square your hips, and then begin to step your left foot to a plank pose. Drop your knees to your mat, big toes touch. Sink your hips to your heels for a child's pose. You can keep your knees wide, or you can play with the expression where your knees are close together. Your arms can be extended out in front of you, or bring your arms by the sides of your body. Notice how the flow of your breath is. Notice the heat that you build in your body. Begin to rise up to a tabletop. Step your feet back behind you so you're in a plank. Knees can be floating or knees can be lower to the ground. With a count of 5, begin to slowly lower yourself down towards your mat for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Release all the way down. Rest one cheek to your mat and bring your hands by your hips. Just take a moment here to find some ease. Begin to draw your forehead to your mat. Hands come by your hips, palms are facing down. With an inhale, start to lift your chest, lift your arms off the mat for a half locust pose. Option to lift your legs as well for full locust. Your gaze will be just a foot or 2 in front of you, so you're maintaining a nice long line in your spine all the way to the crown of your head. See if you can lift your chest up slightly higher with every inhale. 1 more breath in. And exhale, release down. Drop to your opposite cheek. Sway your hips side to side, releasing tension from your low back. We'll do 1 more locust pose. When you're ready, forehead comes to your mat, hands by your hips, or you can come into a bound locust, where you're interlacing your fingers at your low back. With an inhale, begin to rise into your locust pose. Chest lifts, and legs might lift if you're in the full expression. See if you can reach your fingertips, your knuckles back behind you, helping to lift up slightly higher. 3 more breaths. 1 more final breath in. And exhale, release down, sway your hips side to side. Bring your hands by your ribs. Inhale for your cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, gaze forward, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, or step or hop to the front of your mat for a fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, bend at your knees, drop your hips to your mat, and then slowly lower to your back. Hands rest to your mat by your hips, palms are facing down. And step your feet about hip-width apart, stacking your heels under your knees. Press through your hands, press through the soles of your feet. With an inhale, lift your hips up high to the ceiling, coming to a bridge pose. You can stay here in your bridge. Or if you'd like some extra support, you might slide a block underneath your hips here, right at your low back, right at your sacrum. And if you'd like to come deeper into this expression, you can interlace your fingers behind your back and walk your shoulder blades close to one another. Notice if your knees are splaying wide, and then imagine you have one of these blocks between your legs and try to squeeze that block tight, helping to engage your glutes, your quads. One more big breath in. With your exhale, drop your hips to your mat. Step your feet mat width apart. And begin to windshield wiper your knees side to side. Come into one more back bend pose. Option to take your bridge pose with your hands by your hips. Or you can come into wheel if that's in your practice today, where your hands are by your ears, fingertips pointing towards your toes. Whenever you're ready, with an inhale, begin to rise into your back bend. Staying here for about 5 cycles of breath. But if your body cues you that it's ready to come down the floor, feel free to do so. On that 5th breath, take the biggest breath in yet. Exhale, tug your chin to your chest, lower your hips down. Bring the soles of your feet to touch, knees come out wide for supine bound angle pose, Supta Baddha Konasana. Your arms can rest by your sides, palms facing up. Or you can bring one hand to your chest, one hand to your belly, connecting to your body. You can feel the rise and fall of your belly underneath your hand. You might even feel your heart beating in your chest. And close your knees together like you're closing a book. And curl your knees into your chest. Bring your hands to your knees. Start to spread your knees far apart from one another. And then circle your knees back together, creating a circular motion in your hips. Continue with this motion. And you can switch directions of your circles, moving through about 3 more rotations. After that 3rd circle, draw your knees in close to your armpits. Lift the soles of your feet to the ceiling and catch hold of the inner or outer edges of your feet for a happy baby pose. You might like to rock your baby, swaying side to side. If happy baby doesn't feel so good for you today, you can bring your feet mat width apart, knees folding in towards one another. Open your arms wide, take a big breath in. And with your exhale, give yourself a hug with one arm stacked on top of the other, helping you find a neutralizing position for your spine. If you're in your happy baby, you might like to play with lengthening one leg, followed by the other. And you can slow your rock down. Release your feet and curl your knees into your chest. Drop your feet to your mat, keep your knees bent. Open your arms wide into a T shape. Press down with your feet so you can lift your hips just to a hover and then draw them towards the right. Drop your hips down, curl your knees to your chest as you breathe in. Breathe out. out, drop your knees to the left for a supine twist. Your gaze can stay up high to the ceiling, or drop your gaze over to your right fingertips to help deepen this twist. The little adjustment with our hips at the beginning of this posture just is to ensure that our spine stays in line. Your legs can stay stacked, or you might begin to extend your top leg out to the left. You can draw your right hand to your left hand to right thigh, adding a gentle pressure down. And you might connect the big peace fingers of your left hand to your big right toe. With your next inhale, lift your gaze, lift your knees, coming to center. Plant your feet to your mat, bring your hips to center. Inhale, lift your hips to a hover, drop over towards the left this time, drop your hips. Curl your knees in, big breath in. And as you breathe out, drop your knees to the right, bring your gaze to the left, twist in the opposite direction. Taking on any expression you'd like here with your legs. Breathing really deep. Imagine that your body is a washcloth and you're wringing yourself out with every exhale. Slowly return to center. Plant your feet. Bring your hips to a central position. Curl your knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your leg. Give yourself a big hug, a big thank you for practicing. Begin to lift your forehead up towards your knees, squeezing into a tight ball. Take a sip of breath in. And as you exhale, open and expand to your corpse pose, Shavasana. Taking time here to expand out wide, to adjust your posture, maybe inviting some props in. And once you're comfortable, allow every muscle in your body to relax. Take a big breath in through your nose. And with your exhale, sigh out your mouth. One more time, breathing in. Exhale, release. Seal your lips together and allow your natural breath to return to your body. Feel the heaviness of your muscles and bones hanging down to your mat. Feel the support of your mat beneath you. And with every exhale, feel yourself growing heavier and heavier. And imagine that you're sinking down to your mat, down to the earth beneath you. If you have time where you are, feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.